Good morning to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, two things for this episode. One, I'm going to do another current standings recap of the Best of Super Juniors 32 tournament. And then I'm going to give pretty much my thoughts on the current state of the different STARDOM factions. A lot has happened, and I really wanted to take some time to just sit down with this and give my overall thoughts. So, those are the two main things. Starting off, Best of Super Juniors 32 tournament. It's gotten pretty interesting. It's gotten very interesting. So let's go over the current standings. And as usual, we will start with the A block. So here we go. All right. Excuse me. Starting with the A block. Starting from the bottom, right now we have two competitors sitting at 2 points apiece with records of 1 and 3, which are Ninja Mac and Hiromu Takahashi. Pretty surprising there. Let's take a look at Hiromu. Yeah, very surprising to see him start off 1 and 3. But he has the one win over Kushida and 3 losses to Kosei Fujita, Francesco Akira, and Dragon Dia. Yeah, very shocking. Very shocking. This is somebody that's won the Best Super Juniors tournament, I believe, 4 times. So, yeah, it's very shocking to see him struggling out the gate. But, he's got 5 matches left. There's still time. There's still time. Ninja Mac, who is one of my favorites, also 1 and 3. He had the 1 victory against Robbie X, but then 3 tough losses to Francesco Akira, Master Wato, and Kushida. So, very tough road ahead for Ninja Mac, but as I said, there's still time. 5 matches left, so there's still time. Okay, and then we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 competitors, all with 4 points each, with records of 2 and 2. Those competitors are Kushida, Master Wato, Francesco Akira, Clark Connors, Robbie X, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and... oh, no, that was it. So, let's start with Yoshinobu Kanemaru. 2 and 2, 4 points. He has victories over Francesco Akira and Clark Connors, but 2 losses to Dragon Dia and Robbie X. Okay. And then Robbie X, 2 and 2 as well. Victories over Kushida and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, which, that victory over Kushida was pretty big. But 2 losses to Clark Connors and Ninja Mac. Okay. Clark Connors, let's see. 2 victories over Master Wato and Robbie X. 2 losses to Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Dragon Dia. And then Francesco Akira, which is kind of my sleeper pick to win this whole thing. 2 and 2. Victories over Ninja Mac and Hiromu Takahashi. Pretty big victory there. But losses to Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Kosei Fujita. All right, Master Wato, who won this tournament a few years ago. 2 and 2. Victories over Ninja Mac and Dragon Dia, but losses to Kosei Fujita and Clark Connors. And then Kushida, two-time winner Kushida. Let's see. I believe it's two-time winner. Yeah. 2-2. Victories over Ninja Mac and Kosei Fujita, but losses to Hiromu Takahashi and Robbie X. Excuse me. So that's everybody that has 4 points. And then, sitting at the top, tied at 6 points apiece, we got 2 competitors with 3-1 records. They are Kosei Fujita and Dragon Dia. Very, very surprising. Let's take a look at Dragon Dia. I mean, we're talking about somebody that the previous year lost every match except for the very last one, and Dragon Dia is off to a great start. 3-1. Victories over Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Clark Connors, and a big one over Hiromu Takahashi. He has just the 1 loss to Master Wado, but still a very great start for Dragon Dia. I mean, really, really great. But, you know, there's still plenty of matches left, so it's not sealed yet. And then, another surprise, one half of the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosei Fujita, 3-1 as well. And he's got some pretty big victories. Victories over Master Wado, Hiromu Takahashi, and Francesco Akira. He's got the 1 loss to Kushida. But like I said, those are some very big victories for Kosei Fujita. So, gotta say, I love the surprising start by names that you normally wouldn't think of. But they gotta be able to maintain the momentum. It's not gonna be easy. Okay, so let's see the next matchups. So there's actually a couple of Block A matches that will happen tomorrow, May 18th. Let's see what we got. Let's see, we got Master Wado versus Francesco Akira. That should be really good. We got Hiromu Takahashi versus Clark Connors. Kosei Fujita versus Robbie X. That should be interesting. Ninja Mac versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I'm hoping Ninja Mac can get it together. We got Kushida against Dragon Dia, which, remember, Kushida lost to Dragon Dia last time, so we'll see if he can get revenge, or maybe Dragon Dia could go 2-0 on Kushida. Who knows? But those are your matchups for tomorrow, May 18th, so should be really interesting. All right, let's go to Block B. All right, Block B. Okay. So, sitting at the bottom, we got 3 competitors with 2 points each with 1-3 records. Those competitors are Yo, Kevin Knight, and Taiji Ishimori. So, few surprises there. Let's start with Taiji Ishimori. You know, somebody that was a finalist last year. Off to a rough start for the Bone Soldier. Has the 1 victory over El Desperado, which is a pretty big victory. But 3 losses to Ryusuke Taguchi, Teton, and Mao. So, really rough start for the Bone Soldier, but there's still time. You know, 5 matches. Everybody's got 5 matches, so there's still time. Still time. All right. And then the Jet, Kevin Knight, off to a rough start, but he recently picked up his first win, and a big one, as he beat Nick Wayne into his undefeated streak. That's his 1 victory, but 3 losses to Yo, Robbie Eagles, and Mao. But hoping for things to turn around for Kevin Knight. You know, I've met him a couple of times, so I'm a big fan of Kevin Knight. And then Yo, 1 victory over Kevin Knight, 3 losses to Ryusuke Taguchi, Robbie Eagles, and former Roppongi 3K tag partner Sho. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. But still plenty of time. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 competitors with 4 points each at 2-2 records. They are last year's winner and current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, El Desperado. We have Robbie Eagles. We have Sho. And we have Mao. Alright, let's take a look at Mao from DDT. 2-2 victories over Kevin Knight and Taiji Ishimori. Losses to El Desperado and Teton. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Alright. Sho from House of Torture. 2 victories over Yo and Robbie Eagles. 2 losses to Ryusuke Taguchi and Nick Wayne. Okay. Robbie Eagles from TMDK, who I've met a few times. 2 victories over Yo and Kevin Knight. 2 losses to Sho and Nick Wayne. And then the champ, El Desperado. 2 victories over Mao and Teton. And 2 losses to Taiji Ishimori and Nick Wayne. And then finally, we have 3 competitors sitting at 3-1, 6 points each. And they are Ryusuke Taguchi, Teton, and Nick Wayne. Let's take a look at Nick Wayne from AEW. Off to a lightning fast start. 3 victories over El Desperado, Robbie Eagles, and Sho. Suffered his first loss to Kevin Knight, though. But still, Nick Wayne off to a great start, especially beating El Desperado. That's a big deal. Who knows? He'll probably might even get a title shot before he's done in Japan. But we'll see. But a great start for the young kid. All right, Teton. Teton, 3-1. Let's see. Victories over Mao, Taiji Ishimori, and Ryusuke Taguchi. The 1 loss to El Desperado. But, you know, Teton is definitely somebody you don't want to sleep on with this tournament. I mean, he's gotten very close in the past. So, definitely do not want to sleep on Teton. And then finally, somebody who's also won one of these tournaments long time ago. Ryusuke Taguchi, 6 points, 3-1 record. Victories over Sho, Taiji Ishimori, and Yo. Dang, so he beat Sho and Yo. And then the 1 loss to Teton. So yeah. Nick Wayne, Teton, Ryusuke Taguchi are tied at 6 at the top. So, yeah. It's going to be really, really interesting how things play out. Let's see. They also have matchups for tomorrow, May 18th. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. We got Kevin Knight versus Teton. Ooh, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. But, I mean, Kevin Knight ended the undefeated streak of Nick Wayne, so who knows? Maybe he can beat Teton. You never know. Don't sleep on the comeback story. It's happened before. Let's see. Taiji Ishimori versus Robbie Eagles. That should be really good. Sho versus El Desperado. Okay. Ooh, Ryusuke Taguchi versus Nick Wayne. That should be interesting. That should be very interesting. Let's see. Yo versus Mao. That should be interesting as well. So, some very unique matchups out of the B block for tomorrow. But yeah. The tournament's been really interesting. Still not quite sure on who I think has the best chance of winning, or at least making it out of their blocks. But I say by the time it reaches, the May 22nd date, probably will have an idea of who might end up getting out of the B block and the A block. But there's still plenty of tournament matches left. Like, everybody at least has 5, so it's not over yet. We still got a little ways to go, but it's getting more and more interesting, that's for sure. Okay, switching gears to Stardom. Now, a lot has happened, especially over the course of the last couple of months. I mean, you could even say dating all the way back to Stardom Dream Queendom back in December, which I attended. But I kind of wanted to go through each of the current Stardom factions and kind of give my overall take on, like, the state of each one, the status of each one, you know what I mean? So, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, we are going to start with Stars. Right now, Stars is down to just 3 members. You have the Peach Star Momokogo, and you have Wingori, the current Goddess of Stardom tag champs, Saya Ida, and Hanan, with Hanan being the new leader of Stars. Okay, to keep it a buck with y'all, Stars could really use a rebranding. If they are to keep Stars going, they really could use a rebranding. And the thing is, maybe they go kind of a similar way that Oedo Tai did when Oedo Tai became Hate. But right now, Stars is in a bit of a shamble. I mean, they've lost a good chunk, well, the biggest chunk of their power after Mayu Iwatani left. And then, not too long ago, Koguma and Hazuki Fukuoka Double Crazy left Stars. So that's another chunk. And I mean, you don't really have a lot of star power on the squad behind these 3. I mean, you know, Wingori has been an excellent tag team. I'll give them that. They've been an excellent tag team. You know, they're the current tag champs, still going strong. Momokogo, you know, still without a title. You know, just the strength of Stars has really taken a ginormous hit. Now, how do I feel about Hanan as the leader? I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, I would think she would be the most fitting out of these 3. But it's not going to be a really good look for her to be the leader and it just be these 3 for a long time. They need more. And that's why I really feel like either this faction needs to just end, you know, go the route of Donna Del Mondo, Queen's Quest. I mean, it's lived its time. It's lived its time, and I really just feel like it may really be time for Stars to perhaps make its exit. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because I mean, when you think about it, Stars has been a thing since 2018. So, I mean, honestly, while it would be sad to see Stars end, it might be time for Stars to end. I hate to say it, but you really, Stars is not really Stars anymore. And I just don't think it can really go on strong with just those three. So I think Stars, rough condition. I think it could use a rebranding. It could definitely use, more members. I mean, losing Mayu and Fukuoka Double Crazy, those are huge losses. So, that's my take on Stars. I mean, I hope Momokogo can eventually, finally win that title before she calls it quits, whenever that may be. But, Hanan, I at least believe is white belt ready. I do believe she's white belt ready. Red belt, not so sure. Saya Ida, I mean, that's another one that it may be time to really start showcasing her a little bit more in singles matches. I mean, there was a time that was happening, outside of, tournaments and all that. But, Saya Ida is a former future Stardom champion. And I think it's now time to really start putting her into the singles title picture. And not only that, but really start getting her more singles matches. I know she's been an excellent tag champ, but we gotta get her back into more singles matches. But that's my take on Stars. Alright, let's go to the next faction. And that's Cosmic Angels. Kozen. You got Natsupoi, Saori Ano, Yuna Mizumori, Sayaka Kurara, and Aya Sakura. Okay, I know Cosmic Angels took quite a hit, losing Tam Nakano. I mean, it's a pretty big loss, but it's not a death blow. It's definitely not a death blow. Leadership is kind of up in the air. I mean, perhaps some may say it could go to either Natsupoi or Saori Ano, or they could, share leadership, perhaps. But if you ask me, I don't think Cosmic Angels is in that bad of a shape. I mean, you still got Natsupoi, Saori Ano. They're both really good. Yuna Mizumori's become quite a fan favorite. And they've been really doing some things with Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara. I mean, Aya Sakura is the Sendai Girls Junior World Champion. Sayaka Kurara won this year's Cinderella tournament and has really been featured heavy in storylines around Cosmic Angels, even though, unfortunately, she did lose her red belt title shot match. But, like I said, I don't think Cosmic Angels is in that bad of a shape. I think just figuring out the whole leadership sort of thing, I think could go a long ways. But I'm also hoping to see Yuna Mizumori finally get a championship in Stardom. I think that'd be really cool. And Sayaka Kurara will definitely be back in the title picture of some sort. And like I said, Natsupoi, Saori Ano, I mean, I think it's just a matter of figuring things out with the leadership situation. But those are the only two I personally could see as the ongoing leader of Cosmic Angels. But that's really all I can say about Cosmic Angels. I mean, like I said, I know losing Tam Nakano was pretty big, because there was a lot showcased around her and whatnot. I mean, she was the original founder of Cosmic Angels, so it's a big deal. But I think Cosmic Angels will be fine going forward. All right, let's look at this next faction. Now, I know not every member is on this page, you know, because some of them are not part of STARDOM, which is fine. But I'll run it down. So, God's Eye, Shuri, Ami Sourei, Saki Kashima, Rana Yagami, Lady C, Hina, Tomoka Inaba. There is also Kyoka Kotatsu and Nanami. I believe she's now called Nanami Hotaro, I believe. But that's 9 members of God's Eye. Yeah, talk about faction overload. And I believe right now they have the faction that has the most members. Now, Ami Sourei, I know, is still out with injury. My hope is that she will be back and ready for the 5-star Grand Prix, which I do believe is going to happen. She's been training. Recently, there was a picture of her training with Rana Yagami and Shuri. So she's been training. She's been working out. It's only a matter of time. So I have no doubt that she'll return, and that'll be a big boost for the faction. Of course, you know, her being one of the founding members. Shuri just won the IWGP Women's Championship, so got a single title back on her. Enough said. Saki Kashima, you know, has been dealing with, you know, injuries here and there, but she's been coming back to the lineup and doing her thing, so at least that's good to see. Rana Yagami's been staying busy. You know, she's been getting featured quite a bit. And, you know, she's also in the Catch the Wave tournament. So Rana Yagami's been busy. It's a good busy. Same thing with Tomoka Inaba, which, like I said, I hope they figure out what they're going to do with her as far as, you know, seeing if she's potentially going to get signed by STARDOM, but remains to be seen. Got Lady C, you got Hina. Of course, Hina is the current future STARDOM champion. You know, Lady C has yet to sniff championship gold. Kyoka Kotatsu wasn't too long ago returned from injury, so it was good to see her. And then Nanami recently wrestled at the last New Blood show, so, but you know, she's only a every once in a while appearance. I mean, what can I say? God's Eye has the most members, you know, currently. And I mean, I think if anything, this could be the faction that others may pull from. Like an Empress Nexus Venus or Stars or something like that. If they were to ever bring back the draft, STARDOM draft or whatnot, I could see this as being a faction that gets hit pretty hard. But it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But I think once Ami Sourei comes back, you know, that's extra added strength to the faction. But, I mean, with how crazy some storylines have been, you never know. I mean, Lady C, she's already been in, you know, this is her second faction, and really, she hasn't been able to really get going, and it's sad. It's really sad. Like I said, Rana Yagami, I think, will eventually get there. Hina finally won singles gold. You know, Saki Kashima, you know, was a 2-time high-speed champion, so, hopefully, like I said, hopefully Ami Sourei, when she returns, she gets a great push. Tomoka Inaba, You know, she's been doing really well, and hopefully she'll get a taste of some Stardom gold. But yeah, I really don't have much negative or whatnot to say about God's Eye. I mean, like I said, they got the most members. They fine. They are just fine. All right, let's go to the next one. Empress Nexus Venus. Okay. Current members: Maika, Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, Zena, and Rion. Now, if you ask me, it could be a toss-up between Stars and Empress Nexus Venus as far as which faction is in the worst state. Of course, we know Maika is out with injury. She's going to be getting surgery on her elbow, and she's going to be out for a long time. Zena, she's still out. So right now, the only 3 active members are Rion, Waka Tsukiyama, and Hanako. Now, of course, Hanako and Waka are the current Stardom New Blood tag champs. Rion can't seem to get a singles victory. So, yeah. Empress Nexus Venus is kind of looking weak. I mean, right now it seems like Hanako has to be the one to sort of carry the faction. And I mean, her and Waka, you know, they're doing their thing. But yeah. They could really use another member or two. They really could use some additions to their faction. Because their faction, like right now, I would say they're probably weaker than Stars right now. It's kind of interesting because both factions have tag team champions and a wrestler that has no title. It's interesting. It's really interesting. But yeah, Empress Nexus Venus. Oh, and no longer has Mina Shirakawa. Remember, she left and went to AEW. So honestly, E-Nexus V could really use some additions. They could benefit from a draft. Because honestly, until Maika comes back, it's going to be really lacking in identity. And until Maika returns. I know she says she's going to be doing commentary and probably doing things on the side, but with her not in that ring, and you know, we're talking about somebody that was a former red belt champ. Someone that's won a 5-star Grand Prix. So it's rough. It's really rough, but I'm hoping things can, you know, bounce back for Empress Nexus Venus, because they could really use it. Okay, let's go to the next faction. Neo Genesis. Right now consisting of Miyu Amasaki, Mei Seira, Azumi, and Starlight Kid. Okay. It's kind of interesting for this faction. I know originally started with 5, but Suzu Suzuki left the faction. But hey, like all 4 are still currently champions. I mean, you got Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki still as Artists of Stardom champs. You got Starlight Kid, who's the current Wonder of Stardom champion. You got Azumi, who just recently won the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. May Sarah is the high speed champ. So I mean, they all still have titles. So I mean, that's great. You know, only 4 members, but hey, still doing the thing. I mean, I know May Sarah's taken quite a hit losing her, you know, best friend in Suzu Suzuki, and her like getting roughed up by Suzu. Which I don't think she's been. Well, yeah, she had the CMLL Women's Championship match, but that didn't go too well. It just seems like there's been a lot of frustration with May Sarah. I don't know if they're going to really showcase that more. Maybe her going a losing streak. Maybe her eventually losing the high-speed title. But I'm sensing that there's something that they could probably do with that. I mean, Azumi, she's doing her thing. She just got showcased on AEW. She's the Strong Women's Champ. Starlight Kid, which I still don't believe is 100%. So I'm kind of hoping that Starlight Kid kind of, you know, takes her time. Which, I mean, I know with her style, it's kind of hard to do that, but she's not 100%. She can't be 100%. But I'm not them. They know their bodies more than I do. So, and Miyu, I mean, I kind of feel for her being that, you know, I don't think she had the Future Stardom Championship long enough. But, you know, she's still going to get featured quite a bit as part of Neo Genesis. And I think Neo Genesis will be fine. I mean, Starlight Kid's the leader. You know, she still had that sealed. You know, her and Azumi fought it out for the white belt and for leadership. And, you know, Starlight Kid won. So, I mean, honestly, I think Neo Genesis will be fine. Yeah, they lost Suzu, but as I've said before, Suzu never fit the Neo Genesis theme. She never fit that theme. That's not like her. That's not her personality. So, okay. Now let's take a look at this next faction. All right. We have Hate. Okay. So, Hate, we got leader Natsuko Tora, got Rina, Ruka, Fukigen Dev, Momo Watanabe, Konami, Saya Kamatani, Azusa Inaba. So, I mean, you know, that's 8 members, so still pretty strong. And, you know, Hate's been featured quite a lot. Especially with the whole story and journey of Saya Kamatani. And just how things have happened with, you know, Konami and Shuri, Saya and Tam Nakano. You know, Azusa and Tomoka. Just, you know, a lot that's really been going on there. But something me and some other pro wrestling friends were talking about. Natsuko Tora. She's the leader. And some good points were made. It feels like she's not really showcased really as the leader until key events happen. Whether it's kicking somebody out of the faction, or, you know, or when there's a title on the line, or booking a loser leaves faction, whatever sort of, you know what I mean? I feel like you don't really see her showcased for her being a leader until something like that happens. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I really don't know how much longer I could see Tora as the leader of hate, but that's just a side note thing with me. Momo Watanabe. I mean, she really hasn't been 100% in a while, so she could be another one that may want to consider taking some time off. Uh, Konami. Well, she's been kind of off and on, but I do hope at some point they will resume the rivalry between her and Shuri and really. I still think they should have one more UWF rules match again, like between each other, and really settle things. Rena, I feel like is going to be the one that's going to really continue to ascend more and more from where she's been. I mean, she's been an incredible Future of Stardom champion, and even Stardom New Blood Tag Champion as well. She's been incredible. She's only going to get better and only continue to rise, and I think that's really what's in line for Rena. So I have no doubt that she's really going to grow more and more with her star power. Saya Kamatani, I think, has really been the biggest focus out of Hate. I mean, she's the World of Stardom champion. She's gone on quite a tear since turning evil and, joining Hate. And, who knows? Maybe at some point she might become the new leader of Hate. But at the same time, I think there's going to be some conflicting things. I mean, you can kind of tell she was, a little conflicted with the whole Tam Nakano sort of storyline and such. And, she's been featured on the side, with interviews and other shows and stuff like that. She's the Regina de Wave champion from Pro Wrestling Wave because, she won the Catch the Wave tournament last year. So, I mean, I think there's a lot lined up for Saya Kamatani. Same thing with Azusa as far as her and Tomoka. Stardom, are y'all going to sign them or what? Because my whole thing is, they've been killing it in JTO, but really, they're ready for the next level. Azusa and the Inaba sisters really are ready for the next level. And I think they're going to have to leave JTO in order to get there. But yeah, but Hate, honestly, I mean, they got 8 members. They're still looking pretty strong. I just think, the spotlight is on certain ones more than others. But at least they should be in pretty good shape. All right. And the last faction, a faction that I have definitely gotten on board with, and that's Mi Vida Loca. Your members, only 4 so far, but leader, Suzu Suzuki. You got Rina Yamashita, Izuki Aoki, and Akira Kuragane. I like the members of this faction. I've met Suzu, Izuki, and Rina. Haven't met Akira yet, but I definitely love the members of this faction. I think it definitely makes sense. I think really just the main issue is you only have 2 signed talent in this faction with Suzu and Akira. Rina Yamashita, Izuki Aoki are more freelancer. So, I mean, I think it really just boils down to how often are we going to see those 2 ladies in Stardom. I think that's really the only issue with this faction. And who knows? I mean, Suzu could be recruiting another very soon. I mean, once I go into the unaffiliated section, there's some ladies that I want to talk about where I think they could go. But I mean, new faction. This is more fitting for Suzu. I mean, Mi Vida Loca, that's what she has tattooed on her arm. And I think they're going to do well. They've gotten off to a good start. Akira Kuragane in the last few matches have gotten the victory. She just recently got her first singles win. And, I think they're building on something there. So, Mi Vida Loca, it's just the beginning for them. But I look forward to great things happening. All right, let's take a look at the current unaffiliated. All right, right now it's five ladies here. You got Fukuoka Double Crazy, which is Koguma and Hazuki. You got Matoi Hamambe. You got Yuria Hime and Ann Kanaya. Now, the only thing with this, unfortunately, Matoi and Ann are out with injury. Which I heard, I believe Ann's got a wrist injury or something like that. I don't remember what Matoi has, but they're out. They're going to be out for a good while, unfortunately. And Ann Kanaya just recently debuted, and she's out hurt. So, sucks to see. Really sucks to see. And like I said, Koguma, Hazuki, that whole fallout with them from Stars, and them announcing that they want to go global. And I mean, a big help with that is, of course, Hazuki winning the Spark Joshi World Championship. But as far as factions where I could see them go, so I mean, Ann Kanaya, honestly, I could see her in a perfect world. I could see her either in Stars or Cosmic Angels, but I think Stars would fit her the most. I think Stars would fit Ann Kanaya the most. For Yuria Hime, personally, I think Cosmic Angels would probably be her best fit. Matoi Hamambe, I know God's Eye seems ideal for her, but I honestly could see her in Empress Nexus Venus. I think she would be a bigger asset to Empress Nexus Venus. But I think on paper, God's Eye, but if it was up to me, I would put her in Empress Nexus Venus. Hazuki, I mean, honestly, I really don't have an issue with her being independent for a good while. But if I had to put her in a faction, I mean, simple. Mi Vida Loca. I mean, she's already partnered up with Suzu. Mi Vida Loca just seems like the obvious choice, if you ask me, for Hazuki. I mean, Wild Heart, and Mi Vida Loca's logo is a heart. Like, it's too easy. It's too easy. And then the high-speed genius Koguma. Yeah, I'd have to say with how they are pushing this team, I don't think she leaves Hazuki's side, and I think she also would join Mi Vida Loca. As interesting as that would be for Koguma and her personality, But that's really my best guess as to where these 5 ladies could go. But yeah, overall, that's my take on the status of these factions in Stardom. I think God's Eye and Hate, with them being the two loaded factions, I think they'll be just fine. Mi Vida Loca, I think, will become something really great. Same thing with Neo Genesis as well. Cosmic Angels, it'll be interesting to see what they do with the leadership. And Stars and Empress Nexus Venus really, they need help. They need help. So, anyway, that'll do it for this video. Ooh, got to stretch a little bit. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. First off, let me know how you think the Best of Super Juniors 32 tournament's going to go. What have been your favorite matches? Who do you think will win? Who do you think will make it out of their blocks? Let me know your thoughts. And then, give me some feedback on how y'all feel about the current state of these different Stardom factions. If you want to shuffle some folks around, who would you do it? And, what factions would you put them in? The unaffiliated, where would you put them? Which factions do you believe need the most help? Which factions do you think are the strongest? And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let it all out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube Tube, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video and or live stream. Later.